If you love glitter, this book is for you. If you hate glitter, this book is also for you. As New York Times bestselling author Chris Barton and illustrator and rising star Chaya Prabhat give us a fresh, irreverent look at the science and story behind this ubiquitous childhood material, with glitter everywhere. So how much do you actually know about this arts and crafts staple? What makes glitter glitter? Why does it stick to everything? Who invented glitter? How is it made? And is glitter bad for the environment? Chris Barton's bold, quirky voice breaks through the fourth wall and directly addresses the reader, offering up all the details we've come to love about his work. Glitter Everywhere features a dual-layered text and dynamic diagrams to create a multifaceted reading experience. It includes an entertaining author's note that details Chris's research, which included him eating edible glitter and consulting over 150 sources, and the back matter includes an illustrator's note, books for further reading, and a selected bibliography. This is the first picture book to address the origin of glitter, and Glitter Everywhere sparkles as it covers the good, the bad, and the shiny.
Hi, I'm Melissa Mito-Pusey, an editor at Charlesbridge. I'm excited to introduce a brand new series, Hands-on Science. These interactive science books are like Press Here meets Bill Nye, the science guy. In the first book, Matter, author Lola Schaefer invites kids into a chemistry lab where they use their imagination to conduct experiments and learn about solids, liquids, and gases. Interacting with the illustrations, they squeeze cherries to make juice, tilt the book to pour the juice, and predict what will happen when they put juice in the freezer. Lola starts off with a simple investigation. Smash the clay. Place your hand on top of it, and smash it flat. You did it! Clay is a solid, but changes shape under pressure. The clay looks different, but has the same mass. Mass is the amount of matter in an object. Now, push the clay up, up, up into a spike. What do you think will happen next? This looks like more clay. Is it? I love this interactive format. Even though I edited the book and have read it many, many times, it never gets old. I can't resist poking and prodding the pages. I love that kids get to make predictions, conduct an experiment, and predict the results, all without special equipment. It's a portable, accessible lab just for them. And that's just the beginning. The book ends by encouraging kids to notice matter all around them. And it includes a simple real-world experiment. Lola Schaefer is the person to write this book because she was a classroom teacher for 18 years. She knows how to make science fun for little kids. And illustrator Drusilla Santiago's art is just so charming and inviting. When the advanced copy arrived, her young son took the book and immediately started doing all the experiments, just like I did. Lola and Drew are teaming up for the first 3 books in the series. Matter, this summer, Geology, Rocks in the Earth in the fall, and Forces in Motion next spring. These books will keep readers asking, what will happen next?
There is nothing like a hot summer day spent at the park with family and friends. Our favorite toddler, Leo, knows just that. In our newest addition to the Leo Can series, Leo at the Park, we spend a fabulous day with Leo and his mom visiting some friends. They play in the sand, splash around in the water park, and enjoy a delicious lunch. I just love the Leo books. It highlights positive play between parents and kids, and in this one in particular, it shows fabulous examples for 0 to 3-year-olds of hot and cold. It's perfect for those kids having new experiences or even learning new routines. What is also intriguing about this series is that it allows for the youngest readers to grow up with this family. They can start with the Leo series and continue on to his big sister Lola as they grow older, giving them great role models to read about. Author Anna McQuinn delivers another wonderful addition to the Leo and Lola universe, providing the earliest of readers with social-emotional skills that will last them a lifetime.
Night Owl Night by Susan Edwards Richmond, illustrated by Maribel Lechuga, is a sweet and gorgeously illustrated story that captures the wonder at the heart of scientific inquiry. In October, Mama becomes a night owl. Her daughter Sova desperately wants to go with her into the dark woods of Massachusetts to study migrating saw-whet owls. But every year she begs, her mother tells her, not yet. Sometimes a scientist must wait. At long last, Sova is old enough to tag along. She helps Mama check the mist nets and set up an audio lure, and then it's a long night of waiting in the cabin, checking the nets at 30-minute intervals and hoping for even one feathery nighttime visitor. Just when she's lost all hope, the second net is suddenly alive. A feathery ball, tiny, perfect. Mother and daughter carry it back to the cabin to weigh, measure, and check its age with a special black light. Then Mama bands the owl and explains to Sova that they are one part of a long night road on which the owls travel. When it's time to say goodbye, Sova sends Owl 5080 off into the night with a wish that someday she will meet it again. Back matter includes more information about owl species, banding projects, and resources for further reading. I absolutely adore Maribel Lechuga's art. I mean, come on, look at this. Her colors and textures are just so evocative, and they really capture the magic of this special experience. This book is also a beautiful representation of a strong mother-daughter bond and a celebration of women in STEM. Night Owl Night is the perfect story to inspire a love of science and nature.
I cannot wait to share with you this gorgeous lyrical title from Alexandra S.D. Hendricks, I Am Made of Mountains. Our national parks deserve to be celebrated, and this picture book does just that. Hendricks delivers a road trip paired with a poetic guide to 16 of our national parks. From whale watching in the icy atmosphere of Glacier Bay National Park to frolicking through the endless flowers in Great Smoky Mountains National Park, there are endless experiences to be found in these majestic lands. Each page will have you adding to your travel wish list as you learn something new about each park. For instance, did you know that Rocky Mountain National Park has over 77 mountain peaks that rise above 12,000 feet? Now that's some serious hiking height. Every park features diverse children within a color-rich illustration that bleeds into every page, and it feels as though the images themselves are springing off of the page. My favorite is Death Valley. It looks as though her hair is twisting within the trees. Back matter is also included and contains information about the history and social context of the parks in relation to Native Americans. This unique narrative will have you reciting these powerful poetic verses over and over. It almost feels like a lullaby. With a map that marks all 63 parks, this is the perfect gift for any young adventurer or traveler.
I'm so pleased today to talk about a wonderful book called Bear Helps the Forest. Maybe you help too. Written by Karen Lynn Williams and illustrated by Andres Landazabal, this story follows Bear as she does her favorite thing, plays in the autumn leaves. When it comes time to slumber through winter, Bear reluctantly joins Mama while the forest does its work. And when springtime comes, Bear is shocked to find that there are no leaves to jump in. Where did they go? She asks Deer and Mama, and she learns that she must wait through the seasons for the forest to do its work until the leaves return again in autumn. This is a great bedtime story, complete with an educational twist. And it's also perfect for seasonal lessons in classrooms. And it's not just the animals that help the forest break down and regenerate through the seasons. People, kids, help too. They squish in the mud and walk on fallen leaves and play in winter snow. And as shown on the final spread, go on hikes as a family. Karen's gorgeous text flows as smooth as the sap from a tree, and Andres's characters are the perfect blend of realistic and personified. This one is going to be a favorite, I think, all year round.
Lyrically told by Alexandra S.D. Hendricks and beautifully illustrated by Jamie Hogan, readers can learn all about the incredible life of Virginia Oliver, a Maine icon and female pioneer. At 102 years old, Virginia is the oldest person lobstering in Maine, earning the name the Lobster Lady. Not only is she well known locally, but she also received national attention in August 2021 because of this fact. This intriguing picture book biography is the true story of Virginia Oliver as it chronicles a day in her life while also reflecting back on her memories growing up and starting a family. Not only do readers learn about lobster harvesting, but also what it was like for Virginia as a strong and bold woman thriving in a work field primarily dominated by men. Virginia's story is one of persistence, change, curiosity, love, and acceptance. The back matter also includes more on Virginia Oliver's life and experiences with lobstering and fishing sustainability in Maine, and even includes Virginia's very own simple recipes for lobster rolls and bean supper. This biography is definitely one to add to shelves anywhere.
Science and nature enthusiasts will rejoice when Glaciers Are Alive arrives on their shelves. I have learned so much from reading this picture book, things that affect me every day. It highlights the dangers of climate change, not just to the global population, but to the wildlife population as well. I don't think I quite understood how important glacier health is to the world until I began reading. While it may look like a massive chunk of ice, it is so, so much more. As it flows from mountains to oceans, it supports the abundant life for each environment. From ice worms and bears to seals and whales, glaciers provide a rich and supporting home for these creatures. I love how accessible these facts are. Kids of any age can learn and understand how essential these mountains of ice are. Not only will science pull kids in, but the illustrations are a masterpiece. John Van Zyle's artwork is awe-inspiring. His paintings capture the beauty and the strength of glacial living. Finishing off with back matter that discusses rapid melting due to climate change, Glaciers Are Alive provides us with an overview of the importance glaciers have in our environment. This is a fabulous addition to any science classroom or science lesson.
Philip Bunting's Wombat makes me smile every time I read it. From wombat to square bat to dingbat, roundbat, longbat, and splatbat, no bat is left out in this silly and sweet marsupial love story. With quotable language play and hilarious illustrations, words are presented in a way that are not only lively, but laugh out loud funny, and they'll spark curiosity and language exploration for early listeners and pre-readers from ages 2 to 5. A perfect storytime selection, this one may need to come with a warning to parents and an apology in advance that Wombat will almost surely be on read aloud repeat once it enters the rotation. Wombat will leave little bats, middle bats, and whopper bats alike giggling and begging for, wait for it, more bats.
Hello, I'm Jordan, and the most anticipated book on the Charles Bridge Summer 23 list is Not a Monster by Claudia Guadalupe Martinez and illustrated by Laura Gonzalez. Not a Monster features the axolotl, which is a salamander that will never lose its gills or fins. This informative and engaging picture book explores the traits and life cycle of the axolotl, the Aztec origin myth about the species, and the way pollution is affecting its natural habitat, the canals of Xochimilco in Mexico City. In addition to all of that, there is still so much to like, including a Spanish vocabulary, a color concept thread, and an author's note that features more information and photos of Claudia's 2 pet axolotls. Plus, if you like Not a Monster, you can seek out this duo's multi-starred companion book, Not a Bean, about the life cycle of the Mexican jumping bean, which isn't a bean at all.
Next up is a pair of books, Stand as Tall as the Trees, How an Amazonian Community Protected the Rainforest, will publish simultaneously as an English version and a Spanish version called Con la Cabeza en Alto. This story is co-authored by Patricia Gualinga and Laura Rousseau. Patricia is an award-winning, tireless human rights activist who comes from an indigenous Quechua community in Ecuador. And Laura is an established children's book author. Together, they've crafted a story about Patricia's own experience with leaving her village for more education and being called back when the Ecuadorian government sold her people's land to oil companies without permission. Illustrator Vanessa Jaramillo is Ecuadorian as well, with marital ties to indigenous people in her country. This book is about indigenous rights, which are exploited the world over. It's also about triumph over bullies. It's about people and beliefs and family and community and working together for results. It's about being of somewhere and what it means when you leave that place. So many kids will see themselves in this story. There are endless linkages through experience and emotion. The artwork is stunning, and it brings the Quechua people's Amazon to life on the page. The text practically sings its way through the pages, and the Spanish book was translated/written by the authors themselves. I hope you'll pick this one up and share it with others. I loved learning about everything in this story, and I hope you will too.
Abuelita y yo hacemos un plan is now joining our Charles Bridge list of Spanish books this summer. Originally published in English in August 2022, this Spanish edition is sure to enchant all the Spanish speakers around the country. In this story, we follow Anita and her abuelita as they prepare to make a flan for Abuelo's birthday. Abuelita's hands are not what they used to be, though, so Anita is her best helper. But then, Anita breaks her special plate, and she doesn't know what to do. She knows it's right to tell the truth, but what if Abuelita gets upset? In this beautiful story, full of humor and heart, abuelitas and their grandkids everywhere are sure to have a wonderful time, as well as their parents and the memories it brings. And it even includes a flan recipe. What more can you get?
Coming this summer, Monster vs. Boy by Karen Crossing is a fantastical exploration of family, friendship, and intergenerational struggles. Dawes wants to practice recipes of extreme greatness for the Baker's Brawl competition and forget all about his mom, who left him and his sister Jayla with their uncle years ago and never came back. He does not want to see a monster in his closet that no one else can see. Mim wants to explore her closet and listen to stories through the door. She does not want to share her space with that horrible boy outside the closet. When Mim leaves Dawes' closet for the first time, the two learn they're connected in ways neither can explain. While Mim searches the world for a friend, Dawes searches for a way to get rid of her so that he can be normal. Can they break free of each other without losing who they are? I love how this novel captures some unexpected experiences, like living in a small town and trying to get a straight answer out of anyone about your complicated family history. Dawes really has to hunt through rumors, legends, and well-meaning falsehoods for the truth, sometimes in the face of neighbors who refuse to believe in monsters at all. I also loved the kooky recipes that Dawes and his best friend come up with. Avocado marshmallow waffles with blackberry drizzle, anyone? Monster vs. Boy also sensitively handles topics like child abuse and neglect, mental health, and blended families without losing the heart-pounding action of Dawes' search for answers and Mim's search for belonging. This is a brilliant read for young fans of fantasy and kids wrestling with the universal problem of being normal. Monster vs. Boy is available July 11th.
Written by Cybert Honoree and YALSA Excellence in Nonfiction finalist Mr. Lynn Curley, The Other Pandemic is a searing, photo-illustrated historical memoir from the LGBTQIA+ frontlines of the AIDS epidemic of the 1980s and 1990s from our YA imprint, Charles Bridge Teen. COVID has recently made the term pandemic almost pedestrian, which is incredibly sad. But before the current global health crisis, there was another virus that was emerging and mysterious and quickly claiming lives. With honesty and heart, Curley tells the stories of the many friends and loved ones that he lost to this disease, including his own life partner. This personal and expertly researched volume is organized by chapters that are populated with personal experiences, chronologies of events, photos, and sidebars that provide additional details about key events, people, and discoveries. It also includes 16 pages of full-color art and images that are meant as tributes to those lost. In Lynn's own words, quote, "The AIDS horror was perhaps the central trauma of my life, but I survived and had the privilege to grow old. hundreds of thousands of others did not. Now, the other pandemic is the first of its kind. With recent titles like a Love Story and We Are Lost and Found, the AIDS epidemic has been explored in YA fiction, but this is the first personal narrative and historical overview of the crisis for teens. Lynn's deeply personal and moving work is a stark and strong reminder of how history speaks to the present, and this window to the past is a valuable tool for understanding our cultural landscape. LGBTQ+ rights are in the news daily, and this community's access to healthcare continues to be threatened today. As expressed by filmmaker and author Sam Irving, quote, "This memoir of the AIDS plague is a powerful reminder to those of us who miraculously lived through it, and a valuable eye-opener for younger generations who can never allow this to happen again. With the COVID pandemic on everyone's radar, this couldn't be a more teachable moment. Author Lynn Curley grabs this pulpit by the throat and fearlessly makes the case that we must never forget."